wasn't our initial, this was our.
All right, so I want to welcome everybody tonight for the Budget Committee for Tuesday, April 14th, 2026 at the Ladd Recreation Center. So I'm going to call the meeting to order. We do have for the Budget Committee, David Stevenson, Eric Stiniford, and myself. Trent Emery and Jim Perkins have been excused. Would like to welcome the town manager, Shannon McDonald, as well as select board members, Henry Stack, Tom Warren, Blake Erland, Marianne Butik, and Hazel Stevenson. So the first item that we have is the approval of the minutes from March 10th. So these minutes were tabled at our last meeting. And do I have any?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes as written.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, we've got that. Also, we have consider approving the minutes for the March 24th. I haven't seen those.
You should have them there.
They're here.
Mhm.
Sorry, never a chance to look at them quickly, but a motion to approve those.
I saw them.
Right
Are
here.
they in here?
Oh, that's the 10th. No, I just see the 10th.
Should have been
I thought
together.
I printed the 24th out.
Here, we can take the pen for here.
I got it, sorry.
Okay. So we're together.
One of your other.
No, I
jobs.
don't. That's fine.
Okay,
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as written.
I'll second that.
all right. Any discussion? All in favor? Excellent. You got it. All right, so we will budget review and changes. Who would like, Shannon, do you want to take that or?
Yes, I think I did a carryover from the last meeting. We had left some open ends as far as the Ladd Rec Center. We can go over that in a minute. I did hear David had mentioned, I think under the town manager, so that was just a recalculation under general administration, with the, according to the contract.
It's fine, I was just
Oh.
questioning where this said we had approved it, we hadn't, but okay, I'm on the thing on that. It's just a matter of, we need to know which list we're going off.
Yes.
I made this spreadsheet and I've been absent from a number of your meetings. I tried to verify it with Shannon. I'm not so sure that I have all the budget committee initials correct. We may look at it, we may ignore it. It helps me to view the budget like it's going to appear on the town warrant.
Mhm.
Also, if I could take just a second right now to also convene the notice of special select board meeting. All the select board members are present and that meeting has convened also.
Question, Henry, on
Yes, sir.
this is, if this is going to appear, does this mean we're not using the sub account headings in the town warrant like we?
The,
You remember Tom Barden brought the point up to say we need to match what we're saying and the warrant says.
yeah, this pretty much matches last year's warrant. With some changes that Shannon has suggested that we make in this warrant. I don't know what Tom was referring to, but I started this chart off by basically copying and pasting last year's warrant.
So the headers will be the same as in our accounting system.
There may be something,
Yeah.
well,
So I think what Tom was hoping is that they would also match up
Yeah,
in order. And I wouldn't necessarily change that around in Trio, but in the warrant article, I could change them around if you
Yeah.
just wanted to go down the list.
I think as long as,
It's easy enough.
as long as the names are accurate, I think we're fine. As long as we have the same names in both areas.
And I think that they have them.
Okay.
I think one of the changes that we already talked about was we were gonna see some stuff now in outside agencies where before it had been in another section. And I think for the town warrant that there had to be a note for that movement, I think.
Something from move into or out of recreation to.
Right.
Yeah,
things that were, the town had paid for the Ladd Center will now be coming out of the Ladd Center budget, and things the Ladd Center paid for will be coming out of town budget. It's all the town budget out of the tax revenues.
Yeah,
So we can get
Okay.
through that. I think tonight we're
Yeah.
gonna go all the way down through the list. And
Yeah.
I'll go over that when we get there. So right now, under general administration, just
Mhm.
highlighting that one point as far as the change in the town manager. The other changes that you might see was, the inclusion of the chairs for the Lad Rec Center under the, that would be
The
uh,
office
15th
expense?
office
Yeah.
expense, correct.
Mhm.
So that's including the 10,000 that was budgeted for the chairs.
So office expense would go from 5 to 15, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
for that
but-
purchase this year.
But the 10,000 was the estimate that the Lad Center produced for 100 chairs. But my understanding was we were going to split that between us, isn't that correct?
that was not my understanding.
Oh, that, you thought the town was gonna pay 100%
That's what I
for the
thought,
chairs.
that's what I thought we heard from the last select board.
Okay, I didn't understand that, but that's fine if that's what everyone understands.
So we can't reduce this by $5,000.
Right.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna highlight some of those things, and then when we get to it, if you want to go back down through, we can separate it out as far as the select board and the budget, if you wanna talk through any of it before we move on to the next section.
While we're in this section,
Yes.
Shannon, just clarify the health insurance of 57,739.
Mhm.
Does that include the health insurance for the Lad Center director?
Does not.
Okay.
And then the other change, as a recommendation from the budget committee was instead of having the comprehensive plan under capital transfers, we have it added under general administration. So that is a budget line of $8,000. So that will also increase the bottom line by that 8,000.
Mhm.
So overall, you're seeing at least 18,000 between those two added budget items.
And that's in its own line. Okay, I have
It
to
is.
add.
Specifically for comprehensive plan for any administrative or hourly costs that might be incurred through Kennebec Valley Council of Governments or any printing of materials or data collection.
Did we assign that a new number?
So yes, that is getting assigned a new number. I don't have one yet. That was a task that was given to our treasurer.
Okay,
She's got a list of adding, I think, 4 different lines into this budget. So
Okay.
I will open it up now for select board and the budget committee. Is there any questions if you want to go down or make any proposed changes? I don't know if you want to just go line by line. I'll leave that up to the chair of each committee.
Mhm. Yeah, just looking at them real quick. I mean, the biggest things that I see that are changes, have to do with, we moved, there was movement around, for a bookkeeper, tax collector. But that really doesn't have a huge increase when you get those couple lines. And then the line for office expense, it looks like website, no, computer software, there's an expected increase
There it is.
for that. Additional cost for audit. That's a big increase.
It is a big increase. They're now implementing what's called a GAS B auditing method, something that's being imposed by the state. And so they have increased their rates on us. And that's something that we could potentially look at putting out to bid in the upcoming year.
Is that gonna happen just for this changeover, or is it gonna happen all the time?
So I'm not sure exactly. This is the first time I've seen it.
Mhm.
But they have a whole new staff and a new director at the RHR auditing.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, they probably always have government accounting standards that they have to follow. I know that, when you looked at it, you know, for fiscal year 23, 24, the audit was only about $6,900. And 69 was actual. So, yeah.
so according to Henry's
Mhm.
numbers, the board wants 17,330. We had previously talked about 12,600. Which number are we carrying?
That'll be up to the select
Well-
board and the budget committee to,
17,330 is what you had on your sheet,
Correct.
Shannon, and did you make some changes on that? And I don't know what the budget committee recommended.
It's 12,600.
So what's the scoop on the 17?
I had it in
330.
here for 17,330.
my understanding is her recommendation was always 17,330. That's why I wasn't sure.
Yeah, my notes of when the budget committee looked at this, that 12,600 was just a placeholder because we were still
Yes.
researching it.
Okay, so we go to the 17,330. Okay.
Yeah. So overall, compared to last year, there's about a 44.
44,55.
So before we finish this section, on Tuesday's select board meeting, we talked about adding something for a consultant for the Wayne Elementary School situation. And I think it was 25,000 earmarked, but
447.
I don't remember what we decided. Do we want to put that in? Whatever you put into, I mean, there's pluses or minuses. If you include the way this appropriation is written, if you include that consultant, it becomes one of the estimated numbers used to arrive at a whole number, which is what the town appropriates. So you can move around within this box. Do you want to be able to do that with the consultant, or do you want to put the consultant in its own category?
do you have
Well-
another category you can put it in?
No, let's make one.
I was just gonna suggest, one thing we could do is rather than have a new category for the comprehensive plan, make it more generic as consultants.
Oh, I like that.
Is that what we're doing with the comprehensive plan? It was just for the consultant though, it was for nothing else.
That's my understanding.
Or how about consulting services and bundle them. Good idea.
So and that's fine. From my perspective, so we're not interested in tracking or reporting to the town what consulting is for the comprehensive plan and what consulting is for the school. Is that correct?
I don't know if.
Okay, that's my question.
I don't think
If
it's
it
a
goes
lot
in
that's
as
gonna
consult-
occur every year, you know what I
If-
mean?
It's gonna go in as consulting services. It's gonna be put in Trio, I assume, as consulting services. We're gonna approve it as consulting services. Do you want to have comprehensive plan
They can
and a
explain.
school consultant differently, separately, so people know what's being spent? I would vote yes, be separate. But that's, that's where,
The expense for the consultant, for the comprehensive plan isn't primarily for consultants.
That's what it is. That's what, right there.
what do you understand? being
Well, what all the costs of the duplication of drafts
Yeah.
and more or less
So-
paperwork. Other than, it wasn't to hire, the $8,000 wasn't that we would hire someone for $8,000. It was, this is there. We worked for 2 years and we produced a lot of drafts and everything, and the cost of that got numbers.
So it's more than consulting services then.
Mhm.
Yes,
Then you separate them. If it's not gonna be, yeah, we have to separate.
okay.
Okay, so you want a different line.
Do you want to, do you want to add the school consultant as a line item under general administrative? Or do you want to have another budget category? And do you want the town to see and decide, are we gonna raise and authorize $25,000 for a consultant for the school? Or do we want to hide it in general administrative? I'll put it that way. Okay.
Which ones? We don't have any that just hang out there by themselves. do
We have, well, that's the question I posed to the group.
Well, I think that.
Do we wanna lump it in general administrative where it's hidden? It's a brand new thing? Do we want it to go out to the town meeting as a separate question for a consultant for school services?
Well, it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be hidden, because you're going to
No.
have
Just not
There is, this whole list is there.
I think what having it in the general administration gives you a little more flexibility
It-
that if you don't use all.
It
of
does.
that.
It-
I think that's important.
I think
Well,
you're saying just add a budget line that says school consultant under general administration, just like we did with the comprehensive plan, but just right underneath it.
Okay.
What
School
it
But
is.
you were talking
consultant
about
for
putting the whole thing
24,000,
in.
and
Yeah,
that
it was.
it shows some transparency to
I
the.
want to,
The-
I want people.
To Henry's defense.
I.
Let me get my stick.
I got this in the 2 years.
Yeah,
do we want to be more transparent? Because there may be taxpayers that want to adjust that number. You gotta look at we represent the whole town, all taxpayers, good or bad or whatever. But I think Henry's got a point that it may be this time around is such a hot item, it ought to be by itself.
Yeah.
Then they can actually up and down it. With this, if it's in here, you can't change each line item number. You can only change the whole group.
Mhm.
I agree, Henry, we should leave it alone, put it by itself somewhere. The question is, where do we put it in this budget? What do you want to put it under? Start a whole new category?
It's just a category.
Okay.
Special studies.
Special services.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
agree with that, especially this, if I was not involved, in this process, just as a resident, I think I'd want to see it separately as well.
Mhm.
But Amy also has a really great point that, if it's within a category, we can move it around if necessary. So,
Another
Yeah.
time, maybe.
Yeah.
Not an item right now.
yeah, it is. You're right.
And
You're
just,
right about that.
so the ups and downs of it are known. If we make it a separate category, then when we exhaust that, there's no adding to it from something else without
Right.
going back to the town.
That's correct.
But now I think that, but also
Mhm.
that limits our flexibility, but maybe enhances our truthfulness and accountability to the town.
So has the town looked into different consultants yet to get some idea of?
It's a starting point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe that we have necessarily a basis for the number that we've selected. It's just a number.
It was a number.
It was a number, and if it turns out that that nobody can do anything for $25,000, the minimum they need is $45,000, then we're not going to be able to do anything. But I think that's fine, without going back to the town.
Yeah, go back to the town and
Yeah.
say,
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
town, and the town will have made that clear when they vote on this.
Yes,
They-
yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we add a line, consulting services. And under that line, put, what's it called? School consultant, right?
So this is going to be another article on the warrant.
Right.
Yes.
Another warrant
So
article.
it's
Yeah,
Standalone.
yeah.
So I have a question. At the end of next year, if there's money left over, and both the comprehensive plan and the school consulting is in one location, can we then move that money forward?
No, it would go into surplus,
Okay.
but
Well-
what you could do with this budgetary process next year, you could change those numbers.
Well,
Yes.
So we go back to the town with different numbers.
and one thing that you could do, for example, Mary Ann, if this consultant was something that was going to be ongoing, and you've got $5,000 left, and you need to put $60,000 next year, you can have a warrant article that says, will the town vote to carry forward the balance in certain accounts? And that way, your new appropriation would only be the
Difference.
$55,000.
That was kind of the
Yeah.
direction I
No,
was
you
wondering.
can do that. Yes, ma'am.
So you
At least
want-
I think you
Yeah.
can.
I have a motion,
Yep.
no second.
Nope.
I'll second. I
Okay.
don't know if this was a joint motion or just budget committee.
I
motion.
was adding another line in my head.
And we'll
What was your
we'll add
amount
it.
you were thinking, 25?
25.
Yeah,
I floated 25 out. That was a random number based on an idea that a consultant
Random
might
number.
charge.
25.
Right.
Temporary break, how much on that?
Okay.
Yes.
Just leave it at 25.
Yeah.
We got a lot floating out there.
All right.
Hey, we wanna,
Any further discussion on that?
okay, let the select board want to move to add an item to the warrant. Asking the town to appropriate this money for the consultant as a separate item.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries.
And the budget committee? All in
Uh,
favor?
We voted, we
They've
didn't.
already
But
voted.
we
We
didn't
didn't
discuss,
vote
we
yet.
didn't have.
Oh,
Discussion process. We started discussing.
Okay.
We're good, we got
Got
it.
two sets of minutes going.
All right, we're good, we're good. So Amy, we're on general
So we
administration.
still on general administration.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now we've got that number back down to the 447,428, which is the number that matches right there.
No, 447,
Very
458.
458, okay, I'm off by $30.
No worries, unless Henry's.
That's good.
40.
That's 17.
If the, if
330
the,
under
if the
audit.
individual numbers are correct, the whole lot of them is, I think, because it's a formula, so, but I might have off the number. There may be a number off in there.
All right.
Yeah.
Are there any other comments or questions regarding general administration? Okay, so under elections and hearing, this is budgeting for the two two elections, if we have one, which we will in November,
Mhm.
and then again in the following June.
Great.
And that's incorporating a $15.10 salary for the clerks.
Amy, check your line, audit reporting,
Oh, going back up.
because it's 17,330, and I think you would, because we crossed out the 12,600, right?
Right.
So
Right.
17, that might be where your 30 is missing. You might have written 17,300.
No, I've got.
Is it, is
17,330.
17,730 or 17,330?
There was 17,330.
I typed it
find
on
it.
there.
That was my best guess.
You 7:30 or 3:30?
Just tell me what the right number is. 17,330, is that the correct number, Shannon?
Yes, as
Okay,
long
thank
as
you.
everything in there is
Thank
good, I will check the final numbers
All right.
for our
Okay,
draft
good.
warrant article.
And I think we were going to wait until, I found it, it's in
To
the
vote.
social security match. And were we going to wait to actually vote on each one of these sections until we had all of
We'll do
the,
that at that last meeting.
at the meeting that's next week?
Correct.
Okay.
No, it's not next week.
Next
It's
week?
in May.
It is the 21st. It's a select board budget. We had a joint meeting with the question mark.
Oh.
Mhm.
So I don't have to have the May one?
We
I will
could,
not be here for that meeting.
So 2 joint meetings in a row. I have a quick question. The family medical leave, why was that at 0 and then 20, almost 2,700 with this? Where did that come?
So that just was a program that the state began at the beginning of this year.
Really?
Yes.
That's new?
That is new. Yep, they actually just started taking applications in the month of May for those eligible employees.
Sure. I just didn't realize it was new in Maine.
Mhm.
Was that?
Yep,
Yeah,
paid
this
family
was
medical
our
leave
Friday
just began in January of 2025 and collecting it. So we didn't have it in the budget last year.
Right.
And then that is now filling in for what we had on there previously as the income protection thing.
Thanks for that.
Sure,
I
Trent.
didn't realize.
so we pay it all or do we
Be ready
split
for
it?
that?
What's the town
For
policy on that?
paid family, it's a split.
It's a split.
One should be ready to fall.
So under elections, there's no comments or questions under elections. Okay, so
No.
that's good. General assistance, we have the proposed for 5,000, the same as last year. Any questions or comments? Okay.
And is the agent at home, are they gonna be in a separate section or is?
We are drafting a warrant article to make them their own separate section. as
Oh,
far
okay,
as-
so right now in that health and human services section, you just have general assistance?
Correct.
Okay,
And so the next section down would be the aging at home coordinator plus their social security match. And then $1 for program activity. So at the bottom, it should be 14,157.
Why $1?
Because they
Say we had an appropriation.
Yeah,
Yes,
Should be added.
placeholder, right?
they primarily go off of
It
donation.
allows you to accept donations.
mhm,
Right.
okay,
We argued.
yeah, I have that.
Playing the prices right.
Mhm.
Any questions or comments on the aging at home? Okay,
And they don't need any travel, right? Because they do everything at the church.
doesn't submit any travel.
Okay,
And I think most of, everything else is their programs and then they do that through donations.
okay.
For the fire department, there was no change since last year. They maintained a flat budget.
Mhm.
Going down to assessing services, we have the assessing contract for 10,000. The quarter review at 8,000, GIS map annual hosting fee and the GIS mapping update. So for a total of 35,000. Any questions or comments?
Mhm.
And the animal control officer. So we have that still maintaining at $5,000 for the officer stipend. That comes out to about 417 a month. ACO wages of 3,000, that's based off of hourly. Social Security and Medicare match for the amount. The travel, we just decreased it since we saw less travel and more conversations, I think, happening. And then the Humane Society, so we'll fix that from Human Society to Humane. We'll make sure that's in the draft warrant, so
What's the number?
2,360.
2360, yeah.
So
Did
that-
the wages really go down?
So it was based off of hourly rates, and so just based off of the number of hours that were submitted, just decreased that slightly.
Same dollars per hour.
Correct.
So stipend means that they're on call, but then when they get called, then they
Yeah,
get an hourly
They
rate.
submit essentially a monthly report of hours and travel reimbursement.
Right.
And that goes off of the IRS rate, and I think that just went up from 70 cents a mile. I think it was just I can't tell you exactly, but it just went up slightly.
Oh, I wish the state would catch up on that.
Any other questions pertaining to animal control?
Do we have the same person or is they
We
switched?
do, she will be finishing with us.
Oh,
And I am looking to contract with somebody beginning for July 1st.
mhm.
I have to sit down and go over it with them.
I see.
Okay. And so moving down to code enforcement, we just maintained the same contract as far as right now, with the same rates for increases, KV cog membership and ordinance mapping.
That could change though, correctly? The code,
Yes.
it could go down,
We
actually.
expect it to go
Go
down.
down.
We are
Mhm.
expecting to see a cost savings there.
Right.
I can't estimate exactly what that will look like right now. And I don't know if there will be any projected overtime or any additional things.
Mhm.
It really depends on how things pan out with our transition, I think.
Oh, okay.
Are there any questions or comments regarding code enforcement and land use? Okay. So public safety, this, you'll see a change. There is the incorporation of the ambulance capital improvements plan. And so that is an added budget line for $13,927. That is the most recent number that we received from the town of Winthrop.
Okay, so that's new
That
that
is
we
new.
didn't have in there. Okay.
I think the 45,378 is a higher number than what we initially looked at the budget committee as well.
Yes. Yes, I did have some older drafts, and then for the last month, I've been attending almost weekly meetings, so bi-weekly meetings with the Winthrop Ambulance Service and Advisory Committee. And so they have presented updated changes as they've been revising their contracts with the 7 different communities that they support for ambulance and EMS and. Go ahead.
Somebody wants to get let into the Zoom meeting.
Oh, thank you.
So, so yeah, Eric, we were at 42,757, so that
Yeah.
updates that number, correct?
Right.
Mhm. But also, I think the street lights on there got moved to a different location, right?
Yeah, so
So-
the streetlights are actually gonna be moved, it'll be moved under land and buildings. When we
Okay.
look at land and buildings, all of those charges were primarily electricity. So they have gone up, and so we decided to move the streetlights under with electricity
Okay.
or utilities for land and
Those I
building.
knew.
It looks like dispatch went down marginally, right?
So dispatch,
It's down $101.
From what we were talking
Maybe.
before.
Fire EMS dispatch went for. Is that right? From last year?
EMS dispatch,
I-
went there, yes, that did go down.
It's 9, it's okay, 10, 8, yeah, $100.
Mhm.
Hey, take everything we get. And then what was this 5,000?
That's PSAP. What's that again? Is
So
that
that's the
Oh,
Security
security
911.
administration point in that
Oh.
for 911.
911, yeah.
And that is out of Androscoggin County, so they receive 911 calls, they forward it to Winthrop, and then Winthrop then dispatches it out to local EMS or fire or police. Well, not sheriffs, we have sheriffs also, and that is another cost that has also gone up this year, due to their contracting with the Augusta Police Department,
Wow.
so.
Okay.
Are there any other questions pertaining to anything under public safety? I think that that would be a significant increase for the budget this year is public safety. Between general administration.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went up.
It went
30.
from 72 to 99.
Yes.
428, I think.
Yeah, 34, 428.
Other questions or comments? We can move on to roads. And so in roads, we had a budget line for mowing. We moved all of the mowing under land and buildings into one contract since we do have one contract for all of the town properties, we have it listed as such instead of broken out. So that was removed, as well as the electricity for the sand and salt shed. So we moved sand and salt shed also under land and buildings, again with the electricity, and looking at that. And so those two were removed from it.
And the roadside mowing went too?
No, the roadside mowing is still on there. That was increased up to 7,700 because we need to renew that contract this year. And the current roadside mowing contractor is not planning on buying again. This past year was their final year. So that will be going out for bid as well.
And it looks like a couple adjustments like brush, tree removal, calcium chloride.
Brush and tree removal is now $5,000. Calcium chloride was down
Gravel.
2230. What was the scoop, Shannon, about all the calcium chloride that they were talking about at the road,
The infrastructure
or the
committee.
infrastructure committee?
I think that the chair had come up with some calculations based off of how much they could spread over per cubic yard.
But it was a lot more than we have in the budget, wasn't it?
I think, yeah,
Like
it
maybe-
was,
okay.
it was in the 20s.
So, but we're happy with the current budget, which is 2,300 or 2,230 less than last year.
Yes, we don't currently have any kind of method to measure exactly that per cubic yard that we would recommend as far as the usage.
And the 5,000 decrease in brush and tree removal, is that, you good with that?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Just looking at our usage, I think we could decrease some of that there.
And we're down 10,000 on gravel.
So I think what, as I recall, because we don't have the actuals here, but as I recall, the brush and tree removal actuals for the last couple of years was significantly lower than the budgeted amounts.
They were, and we also hadn't done, I think, as much preparation work for paving. We're trying to get that in. And so one of my tasks for the infrastructure, from the infrastructure committee, was to develop an RFP for ditching and tree work and culverts. So the tree work would be separate, ditching and culverts will be another contract, but trying to get that all in preparation for resurfacing of 6 different roads in the upcoming summer and reclaiming for additional roads either in the fall or spring, depending on how things pan out.
And how about the road contract? Is that up for renewal or is that?
Plowing.
The
Plowing,
plowing
yeah.
contract. So I've got to bring that to the select board. I'm looking at trying to extend that for 1 more year.
This is the option year coming up.
Oh,
Y'all awarded it for 4 base years and 1 option year, and this upcoming year is the option year.
oh, I see.
And the price for the plowing contract, the way it's written, isn't determined until like November. I think y'all have an accord to do it a month earlier, right? So it's with the August CPI numbers. Okay, so in September, we'll know the price. This 170,036 was just a plug-in of a 5% increase.
Oh, I see.
It has been less in the last few years. It could be more this year based on the price of diesel and
I was gonna
things
say-
going on in the world.
The index that we use is heavily influenced by prices.
The transportation index has got a good shot of diesel in the index.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So it's probably right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's been like 1% or less the last 3 years, and.
Fuel prices have been stable.
But it could, you know, it could be a problem, or diesel may go down by September, who knows?
I believe we've got some in there though, that we can still
Yeah.
work with Eric. So that 428 is a carrying number, 428,098, right?
Yeah, it's the same
Okay.
number in here.
Good.
Are there any other questions pertaining to roads? Any other comments or revisions or? No? Alright. So moving on to transfer station, I don't believe there were any changes from this. This is what we received from the. What's SWRC stand for, Marianne?
Solid Waste Recycling Committee.
That's it. So Solid Waste Recycling Committee and Transfer Station.
Yeah, they
And
usually get their budget finalized,
Pretty
I
early.
think, pretty early.
Yeah,
No
we've done
change.
wild reason.
Are you still on that committee? Yeah.
All right, any other questions pertaining to transfer stations? Nope. All right, so outside agency, this is where you'll see a big move of different organizations that came from recreation. So that way we can see all of the different agencies that are actually being supported by the town of Wayne, but aren't necessarily a town of Wayne program.
That's a great change, thanks.
Yes. So
We had the Cemetery Association under recreation, that seemed weird.
Yeah.
Use your imagination.
These used to be the sacred bundle that nobody, it was because it would come in and people could deal with it. You may get some feedback on it because some of these are town entities and some are non-town entities. Is this going to be a situation like the other articles that you move the total amount and you can't change it at all?
No. These outside agencies, the warrant article will say, the town agree to raise and appropriate X dollars
for each,
for outside agents, for each of the outside agencies in the respected amounts listed below. So you can't take money from,
One to the other.
Life Flight and give it to the Kennebec Valley Behavioral Health.
Okay,
This is a line item deal.
so this will be worded differently.
It is worded differently
other.
than the others, and yes, sir, it is.
Will we do,
The ones that are that way is this and the capital fund, the capital reserve funds. Those are also worded.
Have they always been worded that way?
No, but nothing has been worded that way. So for example, we've always felt we can move money around inside general and admin. But it's worded exactly the same, it had exactly the same words as the capital accounts. And nobody thought you could move money around in the capital accounts.
All right.
Right.
So we have
I'm not
different
sure
words.
I'm not sure we want to move money around in the capital,
You don't,
We don't.
that's my point.
but
Yeah.
but you're wording it the same way.
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm wording it the same way as this outside agencies.
But you just told, okay, so you can't move it around, but you can up and down each individual one. Technically,
Technically, actually, I think you can only down. I don't think you can up. You have to look at
all
the,
I'm saying is that the townspeople are used to being able to make a comment on these
Mm.
individually. We don't want to take anything away from them by bundling,
no,
but,
they're not bundled, but the general admin is bundled.
Yes.
Is bundled, as an example.
okay.
What do you mean by bundle? I mean,
What's approved is a lump sum.
yes, sir, it's
Correct.
approved as a lump sum.
These are approved.
These are approved
Individual.
in these respective amounts for these entities.
Single article, but they're.
Single article, but the amounts are, yes.
And you're saying that the capital won't be worded that way?
The capital will be line item, the capital will not be a lump sum capital.
Right.
correct.
It will be whatever you say goes for roads, goes for roads, whatever you say goes for fire truck, goes for fire truck, and you can't take money from the fire truck and put it on the roads or
Isn't
vice
that-
versa.
That's not the way it's been?
That's the way we've treated it, and that's the way we have understood it, but I'm not suggesting. The fact is, the articles were worded the same.
Okay.
And so I think since the last time the select
that.
board saw this,
Mhm.
it did not include the hot meal kitchen Maine General Hospice, Maine Public Broadcasting, or Children's Center. And potentially, I think it also did not include the Memorial Library. Jim Perkins at the last select or budget committee meeting requested to have those added and reached out to each of those individual organizations
Okay.
and had since submitted their requests. So those are also now included in there.
Shannon, I have a 0 for the hot meal kitchen for last year. Is that correct or?
Correct.
That, we didn't give them any money last year?
Last year, they
request
didn't get their requests in,
Okay,
and then they ended up finding funding elsewhere, so they did not put in a request last year.
So
So all
Shannon-
of these agencies actually put a request in?
For this year, yes, they did.
Whether you had to reach out to them or.
Yes, we still had to reach out to 4 of them, yeah.
What's the rationale on the 30 Mile River? Like,
So on the 30 Mile River, that's including 2 separate requests combined into one, since it's for the same organization. They submitted their same 10,000 request, plus an additional $15,000 request specifically for Androscoggin Lake algal bloom research.
I was wondering if we were going to publicize, easily publicize the reason that that was increased, or will people have to ask, or?
I can go
You
over
can put- you
that
can put-
in my presentation at the town meeting.
No,
we can put notes.
Yeah.
And we can put notes, I don't know that we have, do we have, well, maybe. We could put notes behind, under the article if you would like to.
I would think that that one will make
makes sense.
people's eyes open.
Yes.
So I think that one would be good.
Shannon, the minor changes to the Messenger and Cemetery Association,
Yes,
were those actual decrease in the requested amount?
should have been an increase for the messenger.
No, relative to what the budget committee looked at previously. They've come down a
Oh.
little bit.
It should be 4,730 for the messenger events and the 15,500 for the
Okay.
cemetery
So
organization.
they've gone up since the select board looked at it.
Correct.
Okay.
Which one was
These
Messenger.
two, messenger
Get down,
and cemetery.
working my way down through this list and again.
so what's the correct number on the messenger?
So the messenger and events
Is that
calendar,
right?
it's including both of those. It should be 4,730.
That get added?
No, that's it.
For both select board and budget?
They moved
Oh.
that out of the record.
I think I was confirming that. I had to send back another email just to confirm the bottom line numbers at the time that you would probably receive this. It should be 4,730. They did correct that. And then in the email for the Cemetery Association, that is including an increase for their mowing budget. So that's up, increasing up to 15,500.
If correct me if I'm wrong. These are some additions that the agencies requested after the select board considered the numbers.
Thank you.
So I think we just went off last year's numbers because we hadn't had their request in yet.
So overall, you're looking at a total amount of $75,015
Carries the same way?
to outside agencies.
Both of which is the 30 mile.
Yes.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, so moving to recreation. You'll see a lot of changes to this, especially to the budget committee. This is something that we haven't really gotten through last meeting. We're still working through the incorporation of the lab rec center programs, and I think that's something we may still discuss. But as far as the Wayne Athletic League Youth Services Coordinator, that maintained the same, as well as the programs budget was an increase from last year's request of 500 up to 800. And that's primarily for t-shirts, hats, and this year they're looking at getting new bats. It's primarily for their softball, baseball programs, or t-ball. And then the Social Security Medicare match for the Youth Services Coordinator remains the same as well. It removed the health insurance and retirement for the Lad Rec Center Director.
Removed it to another area.
It will be under the Lad Center. Will have its own warrant article, and those costs are not funded by, the tax dollars, they would be funded by, revenues and contributions to the Lad Center programs.
And you've got a little
So-
typo there, you found the typo.
For Creatino.
Recreatino?
Italian.
That was the Latin program.
Just-
Latin program,
So-
this was the boys.
We have them here listed. They will be.
Where are they? Oh, and your thing there?
Mine.
Yeah.
They'll be gone, right? Or is there another area for Lad Rec Center you're moving another, is it moving or are they staying in the budget?
When you speak to the
Oh,
budget, when you speak to the budget, I assume you're considering what the town's gonna appropriate and raise through the tax assessment, through the tax, okay. When you talk about that trio page, those costs under trio will become under a Lad Center
Okay.
category.
Got it.
And so they'll be in there, on that paper for the town's accounting
I know where you're
system.
going.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
They're-
then
they're
will there
offset
be
by
revenues?
They're offset.
Yeah.
by revenue
Yeah.
determination.
And,
Will be, okay.
yes,
So we maintained a $1,000 budget line for town beautification. We changed it from
Mhm.
village to town to incorporate North Lane.
Oh, good idea.
We have the Memorial Day Committee maintains 500. Conservation Commission had requested 250 for the first time last year. And this year they're requesting 330 to cover some additional administrative costs.
okay, I don't see that.
I don't think it's on the trio. That's also one of the budget lines we've got to add in there.
Oh,
So I could
okay.
have it.
I think I had put it under as, it was accidentally under as like Kennebec Valley Humane Society. And so it shows that year to date that there was $100 already spent.
And
that's
what-
why I called it a human society.
So is the comprehensive committee wants that money for what?
The Conservation Commission.
Conservation.
So
Yeah.
that is for membership, I think, to some conservation organization through the state. And some other administrative fees,
Why aren't we putting them under these ones that we just went over then?
because they aren't under the town.
Yeah, it's
They fall under
a
state
town end.
statute.
Oh, okay.
And then finally, park maintenance, just increasing that as far as any trimming of bushes or anything that needs to be done down in our parks.
That'd be under like our maintenance and repairs.
We have it under park maintenance for
Yeah,
recreation.
park maintenance,
Yes.
Oh, you were good
which I
to
think
that.
we already had
Seven?
I have.
before.
And
So,
I'm done.
Why is park maintenance considered recreation and not administration?
Or land and buildings.
Yeah, it could be moved down to land and buildings. We previously had it in
Well, that's-
recreation. Right underneath the town beautification.
Mhm.
What's this?
It would make sense to move it to.
And I was curious, then what's the difference
That would make
between
sense.
yeah.
park maintenance and
2015?
town beautification?
Dash 15?
I don't-
So the town beautification, I think that could include painting of the footbridge, or if we wanted to do any
Right,
updates
under
to any of the
the
flower beds
Recreation.
or the
Because this.
Do you wanna wait, Shannon, until this conversation's finished, because I have the disadvantage of sitting at the opposite end and the sound is not carrying.
Okay.
and use my voice inflection too.
Can you say that again, please?
So under park maintenance, for the town beautification, what you're asking for is what is the difference?
Yeah.
So park maintenance, we're kind of looking more at any kind of cleanup or like a spring cleanup with the brush potentially down around Mill Pond, or if we had anything that needs to be done in any of the parks, say if the basketball courts might need to get some work done, or if we have any of the benches that might need repair. I think the town beautification was more so focused on any other costs that might be associated with putting flowers in the town, or last year we used it for Day of Caring and bought some paint to have the kids down there and paint the footbridge.
Okay, thanks.
I think also under town beautification, it's previously been used for the purchasing of Christmas tree lights. I know that the Christmas tree lights go up around the footbridge and around some of the bushes around Mill Pond and around the Christmas tree.
And then if you cut them every year, you're gonna
Yeah.
have to buy new.
Well, we need to do something about that. I'm not sure what it is.
I have a question regarding if you don't mind, regarding, Hazel's point.
Hmm.
Are there any notes in your, world in Trio that kind of gives definitions under those things? So in the future, other people will use the same line items for the same thing so that we do have comparison year on year.
So Trio doesn't really break it down like that. They do give you some categories such as contractual or salaries or operational costs. But as far as the details go and what goes into them, I mean, when you look at software, that could be Adobe, that could be Word.
Usually though, any bookkeeping accounting system, you would have a chart of accounts.
Yes.
It's outside the system,
That's,
but it's a chart of accounts that for each account describes what it is and what it includes.
and I was wondering, do we have any?
We should, I don't know.
That's what I was thinking.
We need to create something like that. It would definitely be
It's
helpful.
the bottom of your list.
Yeah.
As
In the
door.
notes here.
Yeah. Shall we go get it? Right?
Part of account. Noted.
Just on the list.
Under-
List of the chart.
Right.
under-
So,
under-
are there any other comment, I mean, pertaining to town beautification or park maintenance? I mean, down below under land and buildings, we also have land and building maintenance. And I believe for the land and building maintenance, what we're looking for with that would be any kind of maintenance pertaining to any of the buildings, such as faucets outside on the lab rec center or bathrooms, or if we had
Heat bumps.
heat pumps. I mean, if
Yeah.
something just stops working and we need to have someone come in and check an electrical circuit, or, I mean, outside too, something breaks, we need to replace it. I mean, those are three relatively similar. I think town beautification was more focused around some of the events and things involved with the town.
Stuff.
Shannon and Hazel, on this parks maintenance, we've got $3,500 this year that we haven't spent, that we need to.
Mhm.
And the 5,000 next year, and things such as in the North Wayne Park, the split rail fence needs to be replaced. The, what they call erosion something or infiltration steps
Yep.
need to be fixed. We've never been trimming bushes around the Millstream Park, and there's dead trees to be taken down there. And we just haven't, for the last year or so, tended to the parks.
It'll be easy to spend it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Shannon, what about, somebody said heat pump, that just rang in mind. What about the equipment that the town office needs? Is that somewhere covered?
So, I mean, the town office, we have a budget line, it's a shared utilities with the fire department. And that I maintained it at 10,000. And I do need to get quotes on heat pumps for the office, but we also have a capital reserve for land and buildings right now that has a balance of about 42,000.
Okay, that's all I was wondering, is where this heat pumps money would come from.
Probably come and request it from the select.
All right, so we're
Let's go back.
on land and buildings right now?
Recreation, we have.
Oh, we're still on
recreation.
recreation, okay.
Now we can move.
Was it decided that we were gonna move park maintenance to land and buildings?
Yeah, that, I think.
It's, I mean, it's easy to do, if that's what you
I
guys
would
wanna
leave it-
do.
I would leave it for now, leave it right there for now.
Could move it next year too,
Yeah, whatever.
depending.
Minimize the number of changes we make in 1 year.
Yes, we're getting kind of crazy.
It's gonna be a whole new budget. Everyone's gonna be lost. The LAD, Recreatino Center programs.
This is a whole new line, right? Whole-
So this is actually moving the programs out of recreation into its own individual. So we'll be incorporating that there with its own warrant article. Under land and buildings, so you see that we moved streetlights from the public safety under land and buildings to also go with the sand and salt shed lights. That is also electricity from the sand and salt shed building. As well as the North Wayne Schoolhouse, North Wayne Building, the Wayne Townhouse and Footbridge, as well as the Lad Recreation Center utilities. All of those are primarily reflecting the costs of electricity. And you'll see that they've gone up significantly.
So I'm just looking at what I had here and it looks like there's a new line for Lad Rec Center utilities,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That 13,160.
So the difference with the Lad Rec Center utilities from the other buildings is that the Lad Rec Center also includes propane, oil,
No oil. That's propane, I think.
Oh.
Isn't that
It's
right?
propane.
Okay, there's,
But
But there's
these,
other stuff in
there
it.
were three things.
these were historically, the Lad Center utilities and a lot of the Lad Center maintenance costs
Mhm.
historically were funded by the Lad's donations,
Mhm.
not through the town appropriation. We're changing that this year. They're coming in under the town appropriation for land and buildings. And in exchange for that, the Lad Center is picking up all of the personnel overheads related to Lad Center staff.
Oh, so.
So
health
they
insurance,
almost
pensions.
wash out
Okay.
as close, and I think. The purpose of the number one and the number two here is we're gonna have footnotes in the article that
Mhm.
explains that.
And you're gonna be there to talk about.
Yep.
Okay.
Cause that's very important, Eric,
Yep.
for coming from you too, especially in your both positions.
Mhm.
And the other thing is the fact that it is almost a wash, which is.
Yep.
A key point.
What concerns me a little bit, Shannon, that's the reason I asked my first question when we first started on the general administration. It's not obvious where the offsetting reduction is
Yeah.
in the benefit costs. So I hate to take it backwards, but if you go back to the general administration categories for retirement and health insurance, do the 25, 26 numbers include the retirement and health insurance benefits costs for the director?
No,
They were under recreation.
They're over here.
they're in rec.
Yeah, so if you look under 112, 0175 and 0180, that reflects that. The retirement was actually coming out of, this year, it was coming out of our, general
It's
administration.
kind of a new, it was a newbie though.
Um,
If you look here, we didn't fund it, we did, and
I think that, I mean, we had a budget line under here, but the way that it was set up in the system, and I didn't pick up on that till later this year, was that it was coming out of our general admin line. And so that's something that will
Oh,
get
yeah,
changed,
so
but it will get
the
changed
health
anyway.
insurance Here.
Yeah, I was looking for it
Okay.
in this sheet, and I didn't see it.
But it was budgeted for.
As long as it is what is shown in the warrant is going to be transparent and be able to demonstrate that there is that offsetting reduction.
Yeah, I've given the thing that I gave you the other day and the notes, at least that's what I tried to do in
Yes.
those notes. And if you have some suggestions where it could be made more clear, let me know.
No, what you
Yeah.
shared with me looked fine.
Yeah, and that's what the warrant article is gonna look like. It's weird, but it's.
Yeah.
so you've got land and building maintenance on here.
Mhm.
Yes.
Where's that? Where was that previously?
Well-
That was in here, but this incorporates the land and building maintenance for the Lad Rec Center as well.
Which was previously funded by donations, not by the town.
Okay. So was that under like our maintenance repairs here under land and buildings? Would that be part of what it was or no?
It was.
It was
wasn't-
nowhere.
It wasn't in there at all.
That's my,
Okay.
that was a source of unhappiness among some people, just mainly me. But the town wrote checks for about $150,000 a year for Lad Center program expenses, which the Lad Center supported with their donations and contributions and revenues. But that whole process was it was hidden from the budget process. I mean, and I don't mean hidden like we tried to hide it, it just wasn't reflected in our budget process.
Right.
And then we had in recreation, we had no salary in recreation for a director, but we had like $16,000 for health insurance for a director. We had $16,000 of health insurance for an employee whose wages didn't show up in the budget.
I remember when that happened.
But I think that'll all be hopefully sort of fixed up.
Shannon,
Yes,
I'm in sync except for
The 5,500.
the 5,500 for maintenance repairs. Which I assume is, I'd like to think it's in Henry's land and building maintenance. I believe that it would be probably incorporated in there.
Which one are we?
It was
which one?
O2 dash.
Oh, from your
dash 15.
yeah, from your printout, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it probably is.
oh, the maintenance and repairs.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
Is that part of the 9,600?
that would be up under the park maintenance. So the park maintenance It says operating expense. That was just for recreation. So we had 2,500 there under the 0215. And then 3,500 for 2026. We just increased that up to 5,000 for 2027. So even though it says 2,500 on here, it was budgeted at 3,500 in 2026.
I'm still lost.
I'm
where that
lost
is.
completely.
Yeah,
Are you looking at?
I'm looking at 0215 under land and building
Oh,
operating expense.
yeah.
Maintenance and repairs. So we have the 5,500, plus 4,100 for
Lots of-
the LAD center.
That does become
The-
land and building maintenance under LR, okay.
So essentially it
That's
got
your line.
combined with the,
It's combined.
yeah, so it's that 9,600 now.
Combine it with.
It
All
was
of
Lad
them.
Center.
It's 4,100 of new LAD center expenses.
Okay,
Yes.
so it took the 5,500, added to 4,100, and it's on this
There you
line,
go.
so it's not
Yeah.
on this. Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's better.
And Dave, the whole idea is, why are we doing all this? The whole idea is the employee and all the employment costs really is pretty much exclusively devoted to the LAD Center programs. These building costs are to upkeep a town-owned building. And so it turned out that it was about a wash if we just took them and switched the areas that they were under.
Correct. The only other one was cleaning services. I'm not seeing it over here.
So janitorial services,
Is that,
I
yeah,
think I just changed the name to janitorial instead of cleaning.
530?
Um,
Oh, there it is right there.
530.
Okay, sorry. Yep.
yeah,
Oh, that's 39.
that's the same thing.
Okay.
And then trash pickup, we have the same, I don't know if it's considered contractual, but the month to month for trash pickup is the Lad Rec Center. So that just doubled because it is including the Lad Rec Center for the same amount monthly. So I don't know if you had that under your contractual amount.
So your total does come to the 59,629.
59,629, yeah.
It's clearer now, Henry. Thank you.
And Hazel, there was somebody online and then they is turned off, but they haven't dialed back in yet.
Any messages,
Hmm.
that you need to let somebody in.
I have Stiniford MacBook Pro online right now, and I had Holly on earlier, and then she must have dropped off, but she hasn't come back in.
Okay. Land and buildings.
Are there any other questions pertaining to land and buildings?
No, I've tied that out.
So it was the addition of streetlights, sand and salt shed lights, the incorporation of the Lad Rec Center,
Mhm.
for mostly utilities and,
Can
maintenance.
can you back up just a second, Shannon, I'm not sure I followed you on trash pickup.
So trash pickup, so I don't know if you had that under your contractual amount,
For LAD Center?
correct?
No, we had removed that,
Oh, so they do provide an invoice to us for Galusha's waste.
right?
And the town office also does Galusha's waste, $35 a month per. So we have that incorporated in here as well, since we get. both of
So,
those.
so what you're showing here on the land and buildings incorporates trash pickup for both?
Yes,
Okay,
for the town office and the last Rec Center.
okay.
Sometime, Eric, when it's handy after we finish this, but before we leave, I think Shannon and I had a question. We weren't sure what was meant by services under your old budget. Maybe you can, I don't want to bring that up now before we leave. And we want to make sure we have it covered somewhere.
Any other questions or comments pertaining to land and buildings?
No.
All right, so moving down to contingency, just left that again as 3,000. Any other comments, questions from the select board or the budget committee?
No.
Okay. And moving to the capital reserve. So there was an increase in the request for cemetery stone cleaning, slightly from 2,800 up to 2,900. As mentioned from our fire chief who came and gave presentations for the fire truck. They're looking at replacing their 1987 GMC with an updated, I think it's a 2024 pumper truck for, they're requesting 153,000. So just a double amount essentially for this year's budget. Land and buildings remain the same. Road construction, the select board initially approved 250,000 and the budget committee discussed 300,000 subsequent
Yes.
to an infrastructure committee recommendation.
That's a matter that we need to reconcile.
Yeah.
and tell me when you're ready to discuss that. I'm gonna make a pitch and then be quiet, maybe. The 2 years ago, the taxes went up enormously, as everybody will remember, driven in a great amount by a $600,000 appropriation for the road reconstruction reserve, which I guess came after some years of neglect.
Yeah, they
I will,
doubled it.
yeah, I will note that of that 600,000 that contributed to the high tax rates of 2 years ago, we still have about 200 and some $1,000 unspent. But we're gonna take care of that, okay? We contributed $450,000 last year, all of which remains unspent. But we're going to take care of that. Now, not having cleaned our plates from 2 years ago or 1 year ago, we want a third serving. This year, the fire department truck requires an extra $78,000. The Tempe Bridge requires $50,000. That wasn't in the budget last year. The consultant for the schools is a $25,000 that wasn't in the budget last year. The chairs are $10,000 that wasn't in the budget last year. Looking at the LG on Lake Androscoggin, it was $15,000 that wasn't in the budget last year. Last year, for the first time, the warrant article for the maintenance of roads provided that any leftover funds would be transferred to the capital account. There's gonna be at least $50,000 left in there, I would suggest, that's going into the capital account. Considering the expenses that we have and the fact that we haven't yet spent the money, although I'm confident that we will shortly, but we haven't yet spent the money that we collected over the last 2 years, I recommended 250,000 for that reserve account for this year. And then next year, we won't have an extra $75,000 for the fire truck. You know, if it needs to be made up next year, it can. Also, I will note that doing an estimate on the road work that can be completed this spring and this fall, not even hitting the 250 for next year, that actually goes beyond what the road committee was forecasting out 1 or 2 more years in the future. Now, that doesn't mean we don't need any money, because those roads that they were forecasted out isn't all that needs to be fixed. We got a lot of roads to fix. I'm not suggesting that we don't. I'm suggesting that we're hitting people pretty hard on a number of fronts. And do I want to go and say, I want more when I haven't gone through what you all have already given me? And we're not saying nothing, we're saying 250. That's my spiel.
Well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't one of the reasons for increasing the road reserve so that we could go out to bid and get some earlier bids in the year? Because otherwise we had to wait until taxes were set, and then we were scrambling in the fall to try to get the road work done, where we wanted to have those extra reserves to be able to get that done earlier in the year.
But it's now 2 years later, and there's a total of $692,000 in the road reserve unspent. 450 of that was from last year. So 692 minus 450, that's $242,000 of that money from 2 years ago still hasn't been spent. Now it will. We have a plan and we have an estimate, and we're working on an RFP. But I think that I think that 250 is a fair amount, and the difference between 250 and 300,000. I know y'all like to concentrate on mill rate, and that certainly is important, because it means the same thing. But I look at it from the viewpoint of tax bill, and that's $50 a year for someone with a $400,000 appraised property. It's not much, but it's 50. We're already going to hit them for probably $300 or $400, which we'll see at the end of it. Do we want to add 50 to the injury? I would recommend 250 is an adequate amount.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
can I rebut now, Henry?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Henry, number one, You're being very hypothetical on a lot of your things you're saying. A lot of hypothetical, we're gonna have 50,000 that's gonna roll in. We don't know that. You said at the infrastructure meeting the other day, we have a lot of things we're gonna take out of the maintenance fund to get done to get these roads ready. Number one, the town's biggest asset for every taxpayer in this town are the roads that we travel on. Everybody shares that. Some of these other things people don't share. But the roads we all share. It's our biggest asset. We have neglected our roads for decades. A lot of this money, they're big numbers. I agree they're big numbers, Henry. But through previous mismanagement and different administrations, we sucked everything dry. And we haven't done it for years. We were trying to build it up so we could do it. And we built a lot of money up and it's reserved, it's sitting there, yes. It's because we haven't had time. Somebody's been very, very busy doing all this other things, trying to put our town back together. But we haven't had time to go out and get those early bids and things we wanted. It's coming. That money is not hurting anybody sitting there. We know we're gonna need it. These roads need a lot of work. We have a huge amount down the road of reconstruction and other aspects of our roadways that need to be covered. For decades, I've been here a long time, Henry, I'm sorry, and I have an elephant memory. We spent a lot of money years ago and we bonded money and we were going behind all the time. We had a hypothetical number of $300,000 that we could cover. If we only could keep that 300,000 going year to year to year, the townspeople were accepting of that would be a good number. Costs have gone up. That's why we came back to the 450 last year. And frankly, you said the infrastructure, there were people in that meeting that wanted to do 450 again this year. And we could justify, you can justify spending it. It's easy to justify spending money, no doubt about it. And I know, Henry, I believe me, I'm the one that sat here at the beginning of the year saying, don't raise taxes, keep the mill rate. I agree with you on that. But when it comes to roads, we need to keep that minimum, that 300,000 number carried forward. And that did. You want these committees to give you information? That's what the committee presented. So I would like to stay with that. We can deal with the 50,000. Like you said, it is money. There's no doubt about it. There might be other money that the townspeople want to see taken from different areas. That's their choice, not our choice.
Well, but what if they see to take it from the road reserve? That's their choice also.
Well, I disagree with you letting the townspeople go into this capital account and item by item change the number. I think they should be like they've always been. These are our capital, this is our recommendation for capital projects, and that's it.
Oh, so it's just one
So
vote?
it's one vote
Can't go.
for capital. You don't go line by line on capital projects.
Mm.
It's been
Well-
agreed to. It's been committees. Everybody wants to rule by committee, and there've been committees that have given input to put money in this, like the Conservation Committee, and even though it's not here, but there are others that have put time and justified the money that they want in here. That money won't go, it's not like it's gonna disappear or go anywhere. It's like a savings account.
Mhm.
It's going out of my bank account.
Yeah.
It's going somewhere. And the town, the roads are real important.
Mhm.
But to say, well, maybe we can cut the money from somewhere else. Maybe we should change our name to not to the town of Wayne, but to the Pocasset Androscoggin Road Association.
I just want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to speak in the discussion here, so.
No, definitely.
Anybody else?
Well, I think,
I'm
sorry. Yeah, I think the budget committee
Mhm.
debated this number pretty extensively when we met separately.
Mhm.
I don't know whether the select board has had a chance to share Henry's views or differ from Henry's views.
Well, I think the bottom line David brings up though is, okay, you're not advocating for higher taxes, but you are saying if we're gonna pick a place to cut, it's not roads.
It's not.
I have been through the budget for a few years now, and I know that we feel like we're scrambling on the roads. And I do think that part of the reason why we're sitting on this money we haven't spent is that it takes time and a lot of planning to spend that money. And to your point, we just haven't had the time to spend it. It's
busy.
not that we haven't needed it.
Mhm.
But I also wonder, a couple of things, the Tempe Bridge, I'm not sure what that project is, but can we split that between 2 years and bring that down to 25 and do 25 next year? Can we back road construction off split the difference to 275, that would get us to 50K off.
I'm persuaded by the argument Steve makes, and I think we should go with the which one is it now with
The 300.
300.
And but what now, what's going on in the Persian Gulf right now, what that done to price of oil, what will happen, we don't know, but
We may have to sit on our roads for another year,
well,
because and that money may have to sit for 2 years. I mean, I
To be
don't
able to
know.
afford
You
this.
go out and, you know, we're talking $200 a barrel for oil,
Mhm.
but as long as you have the money there, you can do it when the price is right, you can get it done, but.
And I liked your point. I didn't know the history of years ago, realizing you're trying to get to a point where at that point, at least a $300,000 number was one that you could say, okay, if we can hold steady with that, it looks good. Now, scary to think that that number might have to be adjusted in the future as well. It's
Unfortunately.
gonna bump up, right?
But it's
But,
a starting point.
but I can respect that a lot of thought apparently went into that a while back. Yeah, nobody wants to see taxes go up. There are definitely people in town that would be a serious hardship for us. So we should keep an eye on that, and if we can find it elsewhere, let's have that conversation.
Correct.
Why is Tempe Bridge broken out?
Well, we do, you want to do it.
The town, Tempe Bridge apparently is going to need to be replaced
Mhm.
at a cost of, what, approximately $800,000? Perhaps there is grant money, we think there is, but there's not. So, before we can plan, I would suggest, before we can plan for what we're gonna do with the Tempe Bridge, and we've already looked into borrowing money for it, we need to have some engineers tell us what needs to be done and how much it will cost. That's what the 50,000 is for.
How about and how dangerous now, right? I mean, that would be part of that's already been done.
Well, the state doesn't like it. They posted it, to reduce
It's
the weight
been
limit.
fixed already.
Yes.
And they may reduce it again.
They can't, if they do it one more time, we're done, so.
Mhm. And isn't it, we own the whole Tempe Bridge
Yes.
because
Yes, ma'am.
It's all in.
it's it's
it's
all
our
in
bridge.
Maine.
Town line's about a, what,
The other
30
side.
feet?
Yeah.
The other side of the bridge, darn.
Whereas, other situations, each town would
Let's share.
contribute, but.
But I don't think we can make informed decisions or devise a plan on what to do about the Tempe Bridge without an engineering study.
Mhm.
Sure, we go with that.
And it's not something you can spread over 2 years.
No, I
No.
knew
Yeah, it's
that.
gotta be done.
That's it. Yeah. I didn't realize that was a study.
And so.
Well, at the start of a capital reserve account, hopefully we won't need it. And we've talked to our bankers about borrowing. And if this thing needs to be replaced, if the engineers say it needs to be replaced in 2 years, I think we should consider on a course of maybe $100,000 a year capital reserve for 2 years and then borrowing for the rest when it comes time to have to replace it.
Depending on how much it is.
Yes.
Right. Gotta have a starting point, though.
So when would we have that work done? And that's exclusively on our nickel to get that done.
To get a firm in to look at it, yeah.
And
Yes.
we could, by later this year, that could be started.
Yes, I think after, for priority's sake, after we get through all the roads portion.
Yeah.
Then we can move on and start focusing on the bridge consultant.
Yeah.
And school consultant.
You can't really even go out to look at grant opportunities until you know what
Yeah,
needs
what
to
you need,
happen. and it's-
But this also includes, so we didn't add anything for a technology plan. I think that was a previous, account. Lad Rec Center courts and the sand and salt shed were both appropriated with 5,000 last year with a request to continue that each year. I think for the Lad Rec Center courts, it was 5 years for 5,000. And so that's what that looks like for the capital reserve. Are there any other questions or comments pertaining to the capital reserve?
We're going to revenues, that's the good side, right?
Yeah, so, revenues, of course, are primarily an estimate.
Did- Did we reach resolution on the road reserve?
Yeah, on the road reserve,
Yeah.
do we, Do we want to keep?
I
the
think you've already
300
said for 300, do you want to, make a motion for the,
Select board.
select board, recommend 300 for the road reserve?
We'll be
I
doing that
believe that's-
eventually, won't
That's proper. Well, I move we adopt, this would involve adopting the 430,900 as it is.
we? Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 4-1.
So the one other section before we get to revenues is just that intergovernmental expenditures. So the RSU, the county and Cobussy watershed.
Oh, yes.
And you know, the RSU, I think right now is showing $173,000 increase. And looks like county is at 19,000.
We have all of yours?
I've got 26,207 for the county, but it may be my.
You do.
What do you have for the county? 410,907?
Oh, got it.
That's this paper.
Yes,
Yeah,
at
it
the
is. It's
very
it's
bottom.
at the very bottom. Maybe on the, turn the page over. We printed it on the front and back somewhere. It's at the end of this.
That's what we at the bottom of the
I
revenue.
don't see it.
Nothing.
So school total is RSU, right?
School total, town total, school total.
Oh, it's over here.
This was, yeah, and I didn't get it,
And the
all
county here
here.
too.
Yes, they are. The county is the one that starts at 384,700 to 410,907.
That's county.
That's county.
Correct.
410,907 is. what I put.
410,907, yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So county
Yeah.
410.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
and then.
Yeah.
And then Cobussy was 3,709, and then there's,
Yeah, I didn't
overlay.
put those in because they were too small. I mean, we need to worry about that. I was just trying to get an overview.
And then, yeah, contingency of 3,000.
okay. So like my total right now from what I have in this spreadsheet has total appropriations at 5,478,280, which is a little bit different than your 5451, but I think that it's including also the 25,000 for the consultant for the.
Yeah, I
elementary
didn't have the
school.
consultant. for
Right.
that.
Okay. So revenues.
So revenues, I mean, looking at the banking interest, that is a very conservative figure. It was actually projected by our treasurer up to 12,000. But for me, I put it down at 8,000 just based off of last year. I mean, it was 5,300. I don't wanna overestimate it, so I've kept it at 8,000.
Is that something new that the treasurer's doing? Is there more opportunity?
So this year she enrolled in a program called Positive Pay, so
Oh, yeah.
you get a higher interest rate back, and each day it generates exceptions, so it goes through and does a more thorough review of your accounts, and you have to go through essentially almost daily and check if there are any exceptions and verify it, but then it increases your interest rate.
Yes, and it also is a great way for fraud prevention, I think, on
Yeah,
that as well. Okay.
so if she increased those rates. They're looking at higher interest this year.
Mhm.
And then most everything, I think I kept relatively the same. When we started looking down at pre-growth reimbursement and veteran reimbursement. Previously, when we went to go do the commitment, our tax assessor told me to put what we had gotten the previous year in there as a number. We haven't finished this year, so I don't have a number for that. So I basically went off of what I saw we've already accumulated. And if it got close to what we had budgeted for the last year, I just included that as well.
Thanks.
For vitals, I just decreased that a little bit because I think we had only gotten about $100-200 so far in vital records. We may see more of that as we start entering into wedding season, maybe more births, but just keeping that again a little more conservative.
What is cable TV franchise fees?
So that is an agreement that the town entered into a long time ago and I could relook at. We get updates as far as the cable TV companies. They pay a franchise fee to the town to be able to use our infrastructure, and they have lines, I think, buried, and they provide services to the town through that. So That's just what they give to us.
Who's doing a lousy job at the yard sale?
We have one resident that usually applies for a yard sale every year, so that is their one $5.
I thought we were having a yard sale and you're $5 selling something.
It's the one honest resident who actually gets a permit.
Whoever wants to bother with that whole process.
I just kept that in there. So. For plumbing permits right now, I mean, again, that may increase this summer, but keeping it more on the conservative side, and the building permits were also a lot lower so far, but we just decided I kept it relatively the same, with a slight decrease in plumbing permits. The dog license fees, actually, we got over almost $700 in late fees this year. But I don't know if that was just a changeover in administrative.
No forgiveness now. No forgiveness, it's automated.
Judging county.
So I just kind of kept it also similar, so that way, hopefully let that be the warning to the residents that you will be charged late fees if you come in later than the end of January, so. Tree growth reimbursement, saw a slight uptick in that.
Tree growth reimbursement.
Yeah,
I'll have to ask you about that someday.
Yeah.
that is something that was
Yeah,
filed through the
that's
assessor as
exactly.
far as replanting growth and.
Said exemption, I
I
didn't
think
have.
residents can enter into an agreement, with the state. Renewable energy, I just decreased that a little bit, I think, since some of those, rebates are ending. Local road assistance, we got, I think 38,000 this year, so I just kept it at 38,000. There was a slight increase from last year. And so overall, we're looking at 635, 466, slight increase from
Oh.
last year.
Excuse me, one question on the state revenue sharing.
Yes.
Is the bill that's finally passed the final word or not?
So we get it almost monthly. I haven't gotten a final number on that yet.
Yep.
So last year we had 152. I'm just going off of what we had from last year, and we are still on track to make that 152.
All they could do.
So this is a little bit more on the conservative side, just given the changes in potentially in the economy or 635, 466. Are there any other questions or comments pertaining to the revenues? Okay, and then you got the breakdowns down below as far as the school, the county, Hobbacy watershed. It's
Yeah, I'm sure if I'm like on this on the side here.
What do you get for total town expenditures? I got 2,200,1168. Do you have something near that?
It 1996, but 1996168.
Does that have the 25,000 for
Yeah.
the?
Yeah, so. So right now I'm showing total appropriations at 5,478,280. Total revenue at 635,466. And then if I divide that by a total taxable valuation, and I've got that taxable valuation at 396,250,000. I'm kind of coming out with a possible mill rate of 12.22 kind of here. I think last year.
What was it? See, I got a higher number for total expenditures, but let me put yours in and see what that is. You had 19 what?
1996168.
Okay,
And then for intergovernmental, I had the
Yeah.
3482112.
yes, and I've left off I've left off the little Cobussy and the other one, but
Oh, okay.
I have the school at 3065270
Yeah,
and the county at 410,907.
7, yeah.
So that's a 6%, almost a 6.1% raise for the town portion.
Mhm.
6% raise for the school tax. 6.81% raise for the county. So let's say we got a 6, and this will be more than that, because we've got to round up a little bit, but Last year, I think our mill rate was 11.9.
I think it was 11.9 or very
Yeah,
Close to it.
close.
okay,
to that.
11.9 times 1.06 is 12.61. So I think you're gonna have a mill rate of around 12.6. It seems if your revenues went up, if your expenses went up 6% and your revenue stayed the same, seems to me your mill rate would go up 6%.
Yeah, your evaluation doesn't change.
Yeah,
But it's
and the
based on
value-
valuation, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the assessor's evaluation and
Yeah.
it changes slightly, you know, from year to year, but it doesn't change much in Wayne, Maine.
Hmm.
So I think you're looking at about a 12.6.
And last year when I put the figures in, and again, I don't know if I came out with 12.61, but I had a lower taxable valuation. I had 364,750.
Do we know the actual, because we'd go off our assessor's valuation.
It's just under 400 million. It's like 396 and some change. That's why when I'm always looking at it, I look at it from the standpoint, and I always use a $400,000 house because that's kind of in the mid-range. And it divides easily into 400 million. And we're looking at a town increase of $114 on that house, a school increase of 173, and a county increase of 26. So we're gonna hit them for about $300.
So I think that
What's 1 mil?
what's 1 mil?
1 mil's,
That was it. I'm all about 150.
1 mil is 1/100th of one, it's 1/10 of 1%.
Hmm.
What is it, point what? I'm trying to think of if our mill rate is 12, our actual fraction rate is 1.1, our 11.6 was really 1.16% of a assessed value. Is what your bill that you got in the mail was for. So, I guess maybe it's 10 times.
So I know at town meeting, when there was a presentation about the budget and, you know, challenges that are going on with budget, you know, I think that was good for folks to kind of
Yeah.
understand how it affected them, if they know
Well-
their property.
Aaron in his town manager's report used to have, and it's easy to do, and actually it's easy with my $1,000 on the budget. Increases that $400,000 house $1, but it's really 25 cents per 100,000. So if you got a $300,000 house, it's 75 cents. If you got a $500,000 house, it's $1.25.
Mhm.
And we could have a chart like that like Aaron used to do on what this means to your value, if it's A, B, C, or D.
Okay.
Last year, we held the rate really well. This year, and we could say naughty county, naughty school. This year, we're in the naughties right with it. And actually, we're,
You're
yeah.
doing a lot of changes, though. You've got justification for a lot of those.
Yeah, we got-
Aware of the school situations, they're aware of
There's no
the,
oil.
oil.
No,
Infrastructure issues. It's not like you're just grabbing it.
We can
There is one
rationalize.
area, you guys, one area at the end, at the very, very end, and this always happens like later on in the year. When you finally close your books, you'll find, and what I'm seeing in these accounts, you'll have, there's
Just
some,
lump it in.
quite a lot of money left over, which goes into undesignated funds. And you do have the ability to take something like that 50,000 that we're looking at. You do have the ability to take something like a 50,000 and apply it right to the taxes. You wouldn't take it all, obviously, but you could take a portion. And it does, we always use that in the past as kind of a cushion. Instead of having a 1.5 mil increase, we'll make it 1 mil and take it out of surplus, so.
Yeah, there's a number of agencies that give recommendations on what is an appropriate reserve. And our treasurer gives us those in her quarterly detailed updates. And you're right, if we were fat and you can have, will the town vote to transfer $100,000 from undesignated reserves to reduce the tax limit? we're better than we were. That's the reason you get to fix some roads. Because before, cash flow
That's key.
would prevent, okay, you had something appropriated, but you had a cash flow problem because the bills continued in July, August, and September, and the money doesn't start coming in until October first. So that's why you need undesignated reserves of an appropriate value.
But this may not be the best place, but the county, as we understand it, is a new law saying the county has the ability to bill twice rather than once.
Good, thank you,
That's what I say too.
Yeah.
And our county's commissioners have to decide.
thank you.
It's not quite so simple, because they've always gone along with the county administrator who says, oh, that would cost us money. And now why they can't run their business without having a big chunk of money at the beginning of the year and then winding it down. Why they can't make it twice, sure, we would, may have to do some tax anticipation notes or whatever, but it turns out all the towns have very different different,
Income streams.
yeah, they started their town meetings at different times. Some people do different school payments that aren't three, they're two, and
Well, it
Just
would
don't
cost
know.
them money if they're able to just put it in an account and like that and get the interest from it.
sure.
We've
So-
asked for years, Henry. I mean, Lori, we've asked for years, haven't we?
Yes,
Just call
absolutely.
your county commissioner to that
I'm gonna
effect.
call them again.
Call them
And
again.
the board should probably send another letter. I know we did last year,
Yeah.
2 years ago. we said,
Yeah, well, I think we did last year, maybe.
Send another letter.
I would send another letter,
Okay.
because that's a huge benefit. And Wayne's unique. Most towns, it's a 2-payment tax system. Wayne's a
Is it?
3-payment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a little different, which is good for our taxpayers, but it also hurts us.
Another letter
Revenue.
to the county commissioners
Mhm.
suggesting that we
I
have
gotta find it.
two bills
Oh, I
instead of one.
think I've seen that.
Now,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have, but they've ignored it, and the good odds that they're ignoring it yet.
now,
Suggestion is we just do it
Okay,
again.
so
They're
then
open to it
13,160.
in the past,
It's gonna go
Well,
14,368.
Or if you call it, that'd be a good idea.
All right,
in the
explain
past on this
it.
county tax
Okay.
payment,
Oh.
in the past, we haven't ridden them as long as we could.
Mhm.
And Shannon's aware of that and plans to take full advantage until the end of the due period, this
Yes.
coming year.
Say
Last year, I think last
Yeah.
year we didn't ride them as long as we could and we paid before our money started coming in. When is their due? October
So it's due
15th or
September first. You have up to, I think,
30 days?
30 days.
Yeah.
So it would have taken us to October first.
Yeah.
I am somebody who likes to pay all my bills up front, and so that's where I learned that we can wait. I do believe we have another point of business regarding
Yes.
land and buildings.
Yep.
If you open it back up to land and buildings and go down to the Lad Recreation Center utilities, we just discussed, one additional,
You had asked Henry about contract services.
Yes, sir.
That is it's actually a monitoring system contract
Oh,
for building heat, fire.
Okay,
Um,
so we need to put that under utilities.
right, so that's gonna go to 14,360.
yeah,
What page you want?
it's on the land and buildings.
So I'm not sure I understand that. You're adding something that's not currently on here, or you're moving it from some other line?
It's an expense that previously was funded by the lab
It's
program
yeah,
fees,
there's
that's
a
gonna come to.
Switch.
So the utilities go to what?
14,360.
it's an additional, just 1,200.
Why would it be on the land buildings?
Because it's a
a lab.
monitoring system for this building. What does it monitor?
The fire.
Fire,
Okay.
heating system
Oh,
failure,
okay, so
CO.
Yeah.
It's 13,160.
we didn't know where to put it because we weren't sure what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't terribly
Yeah.
descriptive.
Yeah.
It goes on
Yeah.
utilities or gonna be another line?
It's under,
Center utilities.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, it'll be, so you're gonna raise that to
Yeah.
14?
It's
Did
a
you want to make
14,360.
a motion?
You need a motion to amend that?
You do.
We do? Okay, motion to amend.
So move.
Okay.
Seconded.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
What's it do at the bottom?
It went up 0.01.
50,
Wait, oh,
on that
Select board wanna vote on that?
line, that's something more.
No.
So you're keeping it as is?
We're gonna vote on the whole thing at the end, I mean,
Yeah, so,
and it's not really,
I got separate minutes for these.
Hmm?
I've got separate
yeah, it's
minutes that are
make
gonna get
it
approved.
6:29.
oh.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll make a motion based on, I'll make a motion to change Lab Center Recreation Utilities under Land and Buildings from 13,160 to 14,361.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
14,361 or 14,360?
360.
360.
360?
Oh, 14,360.
One more.
we could. We could have got another inch of roads for that dollar.
No, I don't think so.
I would be willing, I'm gonna end my term
1997.
county budget committee, because you have your selectmen to be on there. I would be glad to make a 5-minute presentation of the county taxes and why they're increasing the way they are. Maybe I'll get all the rotten tomatoes thrown by bouncing off my head, but I'd be glad to explain just really quickly. And I'll work with you to come up with a page or a version of a page, maybe a pie chart or something. There's a lot of people don't know thing one about the county.
Do you wanna do that at the next select board meeting on the 21st?
Yeah, and one of the also things we should know is just all, like Mary Ann does some things with the,
Waste
I'm
committee.
gonna call it the dump, but it's not, the redemptions are not, it's not redemption, what the hell is that called?
Solid Waste Recycling Committee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But does that also, relate to the transfer station?
Yes, that's what
Yes.
it is.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
and you're on the,
County budget committee.
yeah, and I don't know anything about that, so next year we're gonna have to appoint select board members to serve in those positions,
Well,
correct? Or not?
they have to, they could be nominated if you want. They will conduct, what do you call it?
Like
It's a
interviews?
term for it. They
Like
could,
interviews or.
they get it for,
elections?
they'll get it for, we don't have any entitlement to it, the representation as a town,
Oh.
but they will get them from the area. From,
So it's the nomination?
yeah, nomination from a.
How does that work? Well, we don't need to talk about it now,
We
but
don't-
sometimes, but.
I thought we had to
didn't know.
send a select board member.
We have to send a select board member for transfer station.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
So for budget committee business
Mhm.
left tonight, at our next meeting, are we gonna go through each section and actually do votes on each section? Or,
Right, it's the,
Yeah.
my understanding, how we've done it is you have the warrant. Are you gonna have time enough to write the whole warrant between now and next Tuesday? Or do you wanna use that date in May that we've had reserved?
I think we pretty much have it written. The warrant?
Just fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of
It's-
addition.
A draft, since January. I think some of the ones that are a little bit more tricky won't necessarily pertain to the budget committee. That are more incorporating the adoption of ordinances.
Right.
General code.
So typically what we do is you bring the warrant in and we go over the actual warrant, money articles in a warrant. And there's a select board recommends and a vote, budget committee recommends and then a vote.
and then that's published for the town,
Yeah.
town meeting.
We do have,
Now, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we do have one budget warrant for breaking out the school consultation and the other consultation. So that is one budget warrant that we will be changing, right?
I need budget committee input on this to do the warrant. The LAD committee or the LAD center programs have been giving money to the town over the years, which has been used for the programs. It isn't necessarily all spent at the end of each year. That money was never really reflected in any budget or no special accounting was made of it, and basically it's fallen into uncommitted reserves. But it's really money that the town received for that. So we're gonna have an article that says, will the town vote to transfer X dollars from undesignated reserves to to the Lad Center program account with an explanation of what. And we're also gonna have that same article where you transfer X dollars from undesignated reserves to the tennis court reserve with the explanation that it's the money left over from donations after that finally settled up. And we're gonna have one for aging at home. Because all these monies are in the undesignated reserves, and really, they're no longer available to these entities unless they fix it.
Mhm.
Question. Do you guys believe that, I mean, I think it probably is, but do you think that's your business for you to make a budget committee recommendation on that warrant article?
Is that?
If
do we
no,
have
no,
good
I
accounting on
won't put
that?
in.
Do we have exact accounting so we
We
know?
will.
Well,
So we know what that, okay, this is. Instead of, if we make a blank statement, if we're taking it out of undesignated funds, it's like, oh, wait a minute, you're just draining undesignated funds for these projects. Which isn't necessarily good, but if we can tell them that, what where it arrived from,
Yeah.
give them the trail.
okay, let me get to it.
The treasurer's done an extensive
The town, yeah.
analysis to come up with a number that is,
Here's the warrant article. To see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of blank from undesignated reserves to the LRC Court's reserves account. Note, this sum stated above is the remaining unspent balance of donations received by the town to match grant funds to construct the LRC courts. This excess amount is retained in the town's undesignated reserves. This action transfers these funds to a reserve account where they may be used for improvements to and maintenance of the LRC courts, the purpose for which these funds were donated to the town. The amount is supported by the town's financial records and has been verified by the town treasurer. That's the warrant article.
Why wouldn't we just transfer it to the LRC Courts Capital Reserve Fund?
That's what I just did.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was.
it doesn't happen automatically, David. It has to be an article to
Yeah.
have.
Right.
Well, the money now, you could have, if we had already had it set up, like in future, these things will be easier.
Mhm.
But right now, there's a number of these where we really need to get the money and put it where it belongs. Last year, we did it with the Lad Center bank account. That was an account at the Winthrop Federal Credit Union that the town owned that had been funded with Lad Center donations. And last year, we had a warrant article that did the same thing and created a Lad Recreation Program Reserve Fund and funded that fund initially with the balance of that bank account.
Can we set it up to do a sweep in automatically every year moving forward? Or
I think-
every year you
well,
do?
That should.
We can
end
take
up.
care of that next
But
year.
like the court thing would probably.
Court
end.
thing would end.
Court thing would end, but
Right.
the Lad Center program budget should have, you are gonna have a warrant article that says, well, and we used to have those all the time. If you go back
Mhm.
25 years and look at some old town meetings, will the town vote to carry forward the balance of the following, whatever it is, and then you list them. At least that's how we did it a long time ago.
To answer your question, I think, yes, the budget committee should review those articles and sign off on them.
Yeah, so all I need to know is when I'm doing, and like you said, it's almost done. But all I know is when I'm doing it, do I put a little ditty on there, select board approves, budget committee approves? Okay.
I think so.
Yes.
I think so also, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
So specific to the Lad Center, leftover money from donations, grants, wherever that came from? Do they still need the $5,000 in capital reserve? If we're
Yes.
essentially taking the leftovers and popping that out?
is this for the courts you're speaking of? Yeah. I would say yes. The 5,000 reserve is a town contribution to meet its maintenance obligations under the grant agreement. I mean, it's a town facility and the town has an obligation to maintain it. I would think, and actually you could use the capital reserve account for this too, but if you ask me, and I don't really want to stick my nose in the ad courts business, but I think this money should be used. If I were them, I would want to use it for some things like maybe buying some nice benches to put in there. Instead, you got some benches that are wooden and don't look very nice to me. There's a few things you could do I think to sexy it up a little bit. that this would be good for. Or
So,
you
I
might want
mean-
to just put informateness.
Yeah, and I don't want to get off
Yeah.
topic on that, but I just know that, there's, is there a committee that's gonna be
Yeah.
working on that? What's the process for coming to the select board to ask for spending?
I
and-
believe, yeah,
With the
Yeah.
town manager.
my opinion,
Right, so,
my opinion is the town manager is the parks director. And she should come with those recommendations
Right.
and people who have input for her ought to go see her.
We have a
We call
match.
that on the job description.
it's all other duties as assigned.
So that, there's that one, and then there's the one for the actual lad, shuffling the lad fund over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'll be
Right.
probably an every year deal, wouldn't it, Eric?
well, once you do it, it's just gonna be carry the balance forward,
Right.
Mhm.
I
This,
believe.
this article that Henry's referring to is a one-time deal to
Yeah.
make up for the past years that should have been carried forward and more.
But we
Yeah.
have to, like the fire department puts it in, it's gotta be, every year you've gotta have it, like we did with the roads, the remainder of the road budget goes into the capital roads fund.
If that's what,
It's an every year thing,
if that's what you wanna do.
as
yeah.
this would have to be an every year thing. for
Yeah,
the rec
yeah,
center,
yep.
too.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, do we have any other more budget committee business that we
Just
Like to-
scheduling.
scheduling? Okay.
uh,
I mean, is
So-
that, if you're gonna be in May, Shannon, we talked about May, that May date is like our
May 5th.
end of the season wrap up for everything was May the 5th.
Yeah, so I have on that, I had April 21st and May 5th as a select board meeting, joint meeting question mark. With May 5th, I also included submit the warrant articles for a legal review. So on May 5th, we need to be completely
Not
Done.
done, but that's what
Okay.
we should be done.
Yeah.
When we're gonna look at it, so
Yes, I had a.
would it give you more time to get everything complete and then we can do one last look through and be done with it, or?
But you're gonna be.
He'll
you're
be
in
here, mate.
town.
If you got numbers, we can have everything complete. We can have, now, some of the numbers need to wait a little while, like the number of the
Hmm.
transfer on the lad funds. That's gonna be carried, I suggest, as close as it can. And then, because they continue to spend money and get money in.
Right.
And then at some point in time, maybe, 30 days before or whatever,
Mhm.
Lynn is going to have to make an estimate on it.
Yep.
And hopefully Eric will agree with that, and that's the number we'll put in there. But I think you can have I think the warrant can be ready pretty soon. That was the other item of business on our special meeting, is to talk about that, and
I just
It's
think May
about ready.
5th, we'd have the school numbers would be concrete by then.
yeah.
We would have a real handle on where we're gonna be at.
Well,
So
the
just-
school numbers
And you-
don't really go, they don't go in the warrant anyway.
Well, the
No.
school will be voting on their budget this Wednesday. So
Right.
I did
Yeah.
post on our town website too, the agenda for Wednesday, and that they will be voting. on final budget.
Dave, the only way that matters to the warrant is if that's going to persuade you to change some of the numbers in the town budget. Other than that, it doesn't go in here.
Now, I do have that Lloyd won't be present on the 21st,
Right, I'll be trouble.
Of what, of May?
April,
Of April, okay.
next week.
The last meeting, when we can do this, the last meeting we have to approve this is the second meeting in May.
Mm-hmm,
I won't be here for that.
okay. So I would shoot for the 5th.
Is the 5th good for
You
you?
have a public hearing scheduled on May 19th.
I won't be here for it. And,
So if anyone has-
and we can talk about that among ourselves. We may want to reset the time for that meeting, or I'm happy for someone else to,
Which meeting is this?
Lloyd,
Yeah.
take over and it's a public hearing. It's a May 19th meeting. I think that's the date of it.
Yeah.
I have a granddaughter high school graduation in Texas on May 20th.
Good, good.
And so,
What is the public hearing for? I don't recall.
Public hearing, you put, well, we'll have
Yeah.
a public hearing for residents to be able to come in and speak to any other comments.
Oh, this
yeah.
is for town meeting. and-
yeah, and I
Got it,
don't think,
okay.
I don't think one's required. If we didn't have it, I don't know, have we always had one, a public meeting where we've gone over them all?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I had down public.
I can tell you the law doesn't require one, I don't believe, but, and so ultimately, if we don't get to it, we don't get to
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah,
the,
I think it'd be good to have. May
public
5th
meetings
and
are, required, public hearings are necessary and required for anything that's gonna be decided by a referendum vote.
Okay.
because there's no opportunity for people to discuss that at a meeting. They just go to the polls and vote.
Okay.
If something's on a floor vote, just about everything is, no public hearing is required,
Okay.
but it may be compliant.
So any other business for the budget committee before we,
So,
I've got in here public comments. Do we have any public comments? For the committee?
I have one person online, but I don't see any hands.
We've got
Okay.
May 5th then, 6:30.
May 5th, 6:30 here. Are we still having any kind of joint meeting next week?
No need for it.
No need for it. Okay, so I'll let,
I don't think so.
No need.
I will let, Jim and Trent know.
Unless you really want to, no. It's okay.
I'll bring the beer. Make a motion to the budget committee adjourned.
Yeah, the.
Second.
All of them.
Bye, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. folks.
Okay, we will continue with our business, and I wanted to talk about the warrant. Because it's just a warrant. I think it's pretty much in good shape. I'm ready to send it to,
We have it, like, I don't know what you're looking at.
yeah, I sent it to everybody.
When,
On emails and, I have the email and I can also print it out.
Nice.
And we can put it on our agenda for Tuesday, which is what I would like to do.
It's part of our packet, is it not?
I think it might have been in your last packet, but I'm not sure.
It
Well,
looks like
yeah.
he did it today too. Draft
So-
warrant articles for discussion purposes is in,
I had it posted, but then I guess that it didn't, you have to go on and you have to generate a packet in order for it to
Okay.
show.
I've got a PFD of that packet, so I've got it.
Okay.
But anyway, here's what I haven't done, and I just want to make it clear. We need an article adopting the new general code. I have no idea how to do this or if any extra language is needed to be added to the warrant article because some of the code chapters revise the prior ordinances rather than just codify.
Let me ask what line you're on.
I'm on line 307.
Thank you.
Someone else needs to figure this out.
Yep.
Okay? Article adopting a zoning ordinance. If the planning board recommends zoning ordinance amendments, we will need to add an article. This will require coordination with general code for appropriate warrant article language. For example, the zoning, all the numbers changed of the different things, of the paragraphs and subparagraphs, and their order has been reordered a little bit. We generated a proposed amendment related to the CEO and who appoints him and supervises him, and that's over at the planning board now. Someone has to tell us what form that's gonna go into. If we intend to propose any additional ordinances, we need to move on that, and I am assuming there are none. We have the additions to the, are we gonna try to do a LAD ordinance this year? LAD center ordinance. I mean, if we are,
What's our drop dead date to get to that?
we have up until the warrant is due on that, because it's not a vote, it's not a referendum vote, so it just needs to be, finalized
With the-
and certified to the clerk prior to the posting of the warrant. Which is our first meeting in June. That's the day the warrant has to be posted, so we really can't act on it at that meeting. Because that's the day they have to put up on the wall, and we don't meet until that evening.
And Eric provided another copy to us, correct?
Yes. And.
Yes, he did, and I haven't looked at it yet, but he did.
Came in.
And I'll put that on our agenda for next Tuesday.
Hmm.
And then the last special fund, DBA Neighbors Helping Neighbors, I don't believe anything's gonna get done on that before town meeting. I just don't, nothing's, I mean, we're not gonna be able to go to the Attorney General and ask him anything. We have too many other things going on. Unless we just wanted to pay our lawyer and turn it over to him and let him take care of it. I do have, and I don't have it with me. I found a letter, actually, Taylor found a letter. He was looking for some fire department stuff back in the old archives. And there's a 1995 letter from, I believe it was our auditors, basically saying, you guys need to do something with this LAD special fund. And, and there were several suggestions. One was to vote it to the Ladd Elementary School Steel Drum Band. That was one of the four suggestions. And he said that there are a lot of you guys, so I don't know all your names. Is there a Susan Stevenson? Is that
she was
Ford's wife?
Ford's wife, she was the original director of the rec center.
She supposedly administered this fund for many years.
She was the original director of the rec center.
Okay. And hopefully, I don't know how to ask this in the right manner. Hopefully, she's still around, correct?
Yes.
Yes, she
Okay,
is.
great. Okay,
Very
great.
much
It's good. It's good to find somebody that was involved in this that still is. And maybe we can get some input from her that will help us make a presentation to the AG to get this trust bank account freed up. But I don't believe that I don't see that in the cards of being done this year.
So that would mean that we would have to go another year.
Just the way-
In which we will not be able to accept any funds for this.
Or we have a special meeting, or we could put it on, we have a general election coming up in November.
Sure.
And we can put a special town election and a referendum vote on any kind of an ordinance then.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
the referendum.
Right, right.
We have a hearing, yeah, we can put it on an election in November. Because we already
I
have
would like
one
to try to
scheduled.
do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do that with the other one too.
People are coming here anyway, they'll just have another ballot for
Right.
town special meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are the things I wanted to talk about. I'll get a cleaned up warrant for our next meeting. Right after that, I propose we send it to Phil because it may take him a while to get back to us. And I'm bringing up these things that not having anything to do with, to advise everybody that if it's not done, it won't be done.
Yeah.
That was my, that's why I wanted to add to the agenda for this meeting. Hey, some stuff has come up on the school, but I don't think we really can talk about it at a special meeting without having put it on the agenda.
So a process
ma'am.
question relative to the school. We voted to send a letter.
Mhm.
At the last meeting and that passed.
Mhm.
Does the content of that letter have to be voted on in a meeting?
I think we should look at it, but I think we could also get away with saying no, but it has all our signatures on it. I think we ought to look at it Tuesday. I know time is of the essence, but really the essence time is tomorrow, and I don't know that anybody's gonna read our letter before they pass their final budget tomorrow.
That's right.
They are getting, I understand this petition that's going around, I assume that's gonna be delivered to them before tomorrow night's meeting. And from what's been read to me out of that, it mirrors a lot of what's in what's in the letter, but I still think we should send it. Does anybody have a different idea on that?
No.
Sending it without a meeting? I mean, I'd wanna have a meeting. Now, I sent a response today and I made it clear it's from me only because that, Tom suggested it and the people were like, time is of the essence. And I don't believe anyone else had any objections to it, so I answered, Dr. Smith sent me an email and I sent her an answer. And I made it clear in my answer that this was me responding to her and not the town or the select board.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the letter that we
Yeah,
voted to send and the
Right.
process that we have to go through. Now, we said we were gonna draft it. If we need to approve a final draft, then I think we need to make sure that is on our agenda on.
oh yeah, it'll be on the agenda for Tuesday. And if you think it was important enough to get it out a couple days earlier, we could have another special meeting and notice it, but I'd just as soon wait till Tuesday. Unless somebody is convinced that it's going to make a big
Let
difference.
her give us an update. We were gonna have this,
So, right before the meeting, I did forward you the email with the attorney's recommendation. He had one suggested revision to the first paragraph, second
Yeah.
sentence.
I mean, if you just sign it, then I didn't.
Yeah, it was before, right before
Oh.
we came. I just forwarded it. We received it yesterday. I didn't know if it had been forwarded. And he just made one suggestion, either review, he didn't see it in the reorganization plan, but there was a reference to some other previous legal opinion. And he didn't know what that previous legal opinion was. And so he would just recommend taking that one line out.
Yeah, it was a little, I think it's something that you maybe added, Hazel, and I kind of thought I forwarded it, but let me tell you, there has been so much stuff going back and forth on this school that I can't tell you there's sure whether I did it or not.
I think you did, cause I read
Yeah,
it.
I thought I did, but
Yeah.
who knows? It could be lost in the deluge of school emails. And I think that's the extent that we should be addressing that at this meeting, and we can't take any action at this meeting.
So do you want that on the agenda for next Tuesday?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep,
absolutely.
got it.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.